Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad you're here with me. Oh, I got to tell you, we've got so much happening. It's been a big day. So yesterday, I didn't do a broadcast. And I apologize for not being here, but I was getting carpet laid in my basement. Well, in my office. So my office is the basement, and it's just been great to be able to have that new carpet smell. You remember that new carpet smell when you first got your new carpet? Oh, it smells great. But I mean, there's so much going on behind me here with the cabinets, and there's the different parts of the basement that are not for me. But I mean, it's the majority of this is this 300 square foot office that I have. Very impressive. I'm very thankful. My wife is amazing. I can't tell you how happy I am to have all of this, that I can be better prepared to support and do presentations, do programs for all of you. So that's what I'm going to continue to do with this. And I just look forward to being able to utilize this space in a much more effective and efficient manner, because it is really, in the end, it's all about making something that you can use to make your life better. That's what it's all about. If I can do that, I want you to be able to do that as well. So if you can make someone else's life better, that is the most important thing to me. And so we've got a lot of stuff going on here today. We do have the vision alignment, which we're doing now. I've had some other calls this morning, but then we have another call at noon, which is for the National Speakers Association, where we're going to be continue to have conversations with those folks in order to help them to go forward, to help them to be able to get through this pandemic, to help them to be able to know that they're encouragers, and we all need encouragers. And the more we can do that, the better off we're going to be. So looking forward to that. We've got a lot of other stuff going on with the School for the Blind. So that's a lot of where I spend my time in the afternoons, all online for a while now. But then tomorrow, oh my gosh, we have got a big day tomorrow. So let me tell you a little bit about it. We have Joshua Pellin. He's going to be on Stroke of Genius. Yeah, Stroke of Genius. So we have Vision Alignment at 10 o'clock again tomorrow, but then Stroke of Genius at 11:30 with Joshua Pellin. He is a former rock climber and just an enthusiast. He used to be a part of the Canadian Army. Really incredible guy that I've connected with via LinkedIn. And he has a great story to tell you about how he has gotten aligned with his vision and knows what his vision is. And has moved forward to get to that vision. So I want to make sure you're available tomorrow at 11:30. Come on the show, whether you can join, in person, live, or if you can join on a recording. Either way, I want you to make sure that you join in and listen to that, because that's going to be a great call. Then at 2 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be talking with a gentleman by the name of. Let me make sure I get this right, because I don't want to mess it up. His name is, Sean Davis. Sean Davis is from somewhere in California. A phenomenal guy. He interviewed me for his podcast on Tuesday of this week. So that was after I had talked with Patricia Fripp. It's just been a lot of stuff going on. So we've got all that going on Friday. We've got some other calls happening as well, but really, I want to make sure that you understand everything we're doing here is to fill us up in order to allow us to be able to serve you better. So listen in on those calls if you can, whether it's listening live or via replay. Either way, it's going to serve you. I'm sure it will. So again, if you're listening to this live, put in a hashtag live. If you're listening on a replay, put in a hashtag replay, because it's all about just making sure that we're a community here. And we are a community. We're all a community of people that are trying to see better than we ever have. Because, the story. When I went blind 10 years ago, I knew that I wanted to be able to help other people. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know that meant making calls or having these video calls once a day. But oh my gosh, they have helped me so much in order to help me to prepare for the speeches that I have coming up. So I'm going to be speaking next week to a group here in Columbus, and they're a women. What's called WELD, W-E-L-D, and it's called the Women Executive Leadership Development Group. Phenomenal association, but the more we can do that, the better off we're going to be. So we have another speech coming up the week after that, and I'm going to tell you about that a little bit later. But I want to get right into it. Well, before we get into it, I want to see who all is on the line, because I know some of you are out there, and I want to make sure that I say hello. So who else do we have here? Carla Bruscato. Good morning, Carla. How are you this morning from Brazil, if I remember correctly? That's awesome. Hashtag live, hashtag Brazil. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And then there's my friend Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda. How are you? I'm so glad to see you on here this morning. And from Signet, Ohio, hashtag live. Thank you. And then, of course, my old friend Chris Gross from Colorado Springs. So, we've got the world covered here, I think. But thank you for joining, Chris. I'm glad to see you this morning. And then we have another one from, I'm not sure where, popped in today on my vacation. I'm excited to see all awesome work you're doing. Oh, well, LinkedIn user. So hashtag live, put in there a hashtag who you are. If you don't want to, that's fine. I totally understand. But I'm so glad you're on this morning and being a part of this group. Oh, and then we also have Kathy Benner. Good morning, Kathy. How are you this morning? I'm so glad you're on hashtag live and from Canal, Winchester, Ohio. So thank you for that. So let's get into it. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. I want to make sure that I'm providing as much value to you as I can and that we're moving this ball forward. So we've talked a lot about how important it is to know what makes us unique. And when I talk about this in an acronym, the acronym is WINK. I don't have to really do that very hard. It just happens. But if I can have other people join me in knowing what makes them unique, then that's great. Oh, we have another person that's joining here this morning. Sean. Good morning, Sean. How are you this morning? Thank you. Hashtag live. And put in a hashtag from where you're from. I would appreciate that. And my old friend James Robertson. Good morning, James. Thank you for joining. So we talked a little bit about what makes us unique and the WINK acronym. So WINK. WINK stands for, the W is for what makes you unique. Why is it important? That's the W. Why is it important to understand what makes you unique? Well, if you can understand what makes you unique, then you can do something with it in the future. You can be a person that serves other people. And that's where true joy comes from. True joy comes from giving something to somebody else, whether it's making them cookies or having a conversation with them or just being there for them, listening to them, holding their hand. That's something that we all need at certain times. So the W is for why is it important to figure out what makes us unique. If you have other ideas about why it's important to know what makes you unique, put them in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you anyways. But anything you can tell me about what makes you unique and why it's important, that'd be great. Now, also, the I, W-I. The I stands for intentionality. And so we have a mission in life. We know let's say we know what makes us unique and we know why it's important. And then the I, being intentional, sometimes we have things that get in our way. So whether it's if you're part of the why it's important to what makes you unique, if you really want to focus on losing weight, or you want to feel more healthy or get more healthy, you want to eat more healthy. Well, if you can understand why you're doing that, then you're going to be able to have other things. Well, you're not going to be able to. You're going to have other things that are going to get in your way. They're going to get in your way. They're going to create a chasm between you and your goal. So, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to run into French fries. French fries are the devil for me because I love them, but I hate them because they always seem to just put on pounds for me. Beer is similar situation. I love beer, but if I drink too much, I know that I'm going to feel fat and I'm going to get fat. So in moderation is the key. Now, those things are going to distract from me getting to the point where I am able to achieve my vision, able to achieve what it is that I want if I'm trying to lose weight. So that is why being intentional is so important. Now, for me, I'm not a guy that's busy trying to lose weight, and that's not really what I'm focused on. What I'm focused on is trying to be positive. I want to make sure that everything I do is positive for you, because the more positive that I can be, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to see me as someone, as a light. I hope you see me as a light. I hope you see me as an inspiration. But if I don't do that, if I'm not intentional with being positive, I'll get up first thing in the morning, and what do? I'll turn on the news. That is the worst thing that I possibly could do if I want to stay positive. So I have to take my news in moderation. I have it a little bit in the day, a little bit at night, and that's it. I don't go deep into it. I'm not one to stick my head in the sand, but I understand that being positive is something important to me. And if I'm watching the news all the time, or at least first thing in the morning, it's just not how I want to start off the day. I want to show up filled up. And if I can come to you, showed up, filled up, that's the best. I love you. I love you all being on here. And I hope you continue to join me. So there's a lot that I can offer. But if I show up and I watch the news first thing in the morning, I'm not going to be that positive person. I'm not going to be that guy. And then, that's the I. So the W-I. And then the N. The N stands for a new way of thinking, a new way of approaching life. Well, I told you a little bit about my office here and how it's so important for me to be in a space where I can deliver as much as I can of much positivity. I have a 300 square foot office that allows me to interact and to be animated, to jump off the walls if I want. I don't really jump off the walls, but it really allows me to be a little bit more of who I am, and that is so important. But when I used to have my office on the other side of this wall, it was in a 100 square foot office. And I sat every day, all day, and I tried to carry on and do what I'm doing. But it just didn't work. So I said to Connie, my wife, can I move upstairs into the living room? She said, no. Okay. She said, why don't you just move into the other space? There's a 100 square foot office, which is what I was in. And then there's a 300 square foot office just on the other side of the wall in my basement. She said, why don't you just move into the other space? Well, that's a good idea. So that's what I did. I moved into the other space. And then, of course, when I moved in here, you know what? I just don't think that I'm faced the right way, because I had this big soffit that I would hit my head on, and it would just look terrible in the videos and all this. So what we did, first of all, we painted. So she painted. I did some of the painting, but she has been phenomenal to do all the painting in here. Well, I like I said, I got moved over here, and it was a big space. I loved it. It was great. But then I had that soffit behind me, and then I had, the lighting wasn't perfect. It's not perfect to now, but at least it's good enough. You can see me. Well, so I had this problem with the soffit. So what I wanted to do after we did some painting I said, I want to turn my desk down a 180. I want to do a 180 and turn it all the way around in order for me to be able to face towards the soffit, which I am now, and I have this beautiful background behind me. Hopefully you've noticed it. Hopefully it's nice and appealing to you. If it's not, put in a hashtag of what you think you might suggest that I do. But there is so much that she has done for me in terms of this direction and the lighting, and then I have this need to have a light back here. And the light is to shine kind of on the wall to really help, to illuminate the background. Well, I didn't know I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I had some people that are in the NSA and some others that came to me and they said, well, you know what? That light is kind of harsh. It's kind of bright. So here I am, and we're still in the end. We're still in a new way of thinking. Here I am thinking, well, what can I do with the light? Do I need to get an electrician out here? Do I need to, do I need to get it built onto the house, make it different? Do something different with the whole structure. What can I do? And Connie she said, why don't you just use a different wattage bulb? Great idea. I never thought of that. So that's what I did. I put in a different wattage bulb. It looks perfect. I don't know if it's perfect. It looks good enough. And there's just so many things that she has helped me with from a simplicity perspective and a new way of thinking that has just helped me so much. And then obviously the carpet we had in here was 20 years old. It was close to 20 years old. And the kids had been down here forever. And this whole space has been totally made for me and for you to be able to use it. So I'm thankful for her and thankful for you to show up. So that's the N. The N is for a new way of thinking. But then the K is for kinesthetic. K is for kinesthetic. And that means taking action, doing something with it. So I forgot to ask, do you all have your Wink workbook? Oh. If you don't, I highly encourage you to grab one of these Wink workbooks. So I'm going to put in the comments. Do this on the Facebook post and the LinkedIn post. I'll put in there the Wink workbook, and you can download it if you want. And you can be ready for next time. But I want to help you to understand how important it is to understand what makes you unique, and be intentional with that. So in the end, we have this initiative that we want to have. We want to take a new way of thinking. But again, there's always something that gets in the way. And when we do that, when we have this new way of thinking, we want to make it a habit. We want to make sure that we continue to understand the best way we can serve other people. In this new way of thinking, just reaching out to people is important. But if you have a new way of thinking and you have other things that get in the way, other distractions like your lighting that are going to cause you to stumble, you just need to let go of it. Let go of it and keep taking action. Keep going forward as much as you can. I can't tell how happy I am that you joined me here today, and I'm so glad that you did. Now, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff going on today. We have a big day tomorrow. And I hope you can join us again back here at 10 o'clock Eastern, and then again at 11:30, and then the special show, the special Vision Alignment at 2 o'clock. There's so much to be had, and I'm so glad, so thankful you're on. Thank you very much. And as always, keep one eye on the road. Oh, and let's check to see who else joined. Who else is on? Connie Rocks. Let's see. Oh, the LinkedIn user is calling in from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Oh, sorry, Alaska. Wow, very impressive. Yeah. Oh, Siri's talking to me back there. Well, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. And as always, keep one eye on the road. James Robinson, Positive Vibes. Thank you very much. Yes, my wife did a great job. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, Connie Rocks. as always. So cool. And thank you very much for that, Sean. So if there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Keep one eye on the road. Bye.